Hi there and welcome. This is Vince of vinceprep.com. The Wharton TBD, the team-based discussion. It's an exciting way to interview. It's a group interview process that Wharton started and they've stuck with it, so they must like it. I've got some resources on my website and I'm helping a lot of people prepare for the Wharton team-based discussion and one-on-one interview, so I thought I would share some of the tips and advice that I think are simple and effective, that I can best convey. When I work in a session, I have a lot more methods and resources that I share, but for the sake of a video, I just want to give a brief, simple overview of my philosophy more than anything else. So here's the link. It's on my website. There's various ways to find it when you go to my Wharton interviews page. Basically, the Wharton team-based discussion, I made a video, I have a previous video that I made where I talk about 5 ways to fail the Wharton team-based discussion. I want to focus today on I really think, most of all, there's really just one big way to fail. The big way to fail your Wharton team-based discussion is to not enjoy it, to not enjoy preparing for it, and to not, worst of all, not enjoy participating in it. It's just an exercise. I really don't think, based on all of my work last year and very good results last year with my clients, from the feedback that they gave me after the session, I really don't think that anyone's idea matters that much, including yours. Do your best, prepare for an hour or two the way they suggest in their instructions, have an idea that you are passionate about, that you already know well. Don't create something for which you have to memorize a bunch of data, because that's going to make you stressed in the preparation and also in the presentation. Talk about something you're very comfortable with, something close to your heart, where the information's already memorized because it's something you know about and you've done already. Hopefully you have a bit, because basically that shows your expertise. That by definition your contribution is obvious to the group because you're really passionate and knowledgeable about the topic of your presentation. I think that's the purpose of it, first of all, for having these 1-minute pitches. It's not a test of your public speaking skills, although you should practice and make it as good as it can be. It's also not a test of necessarily of your critical thinking skills, although you want to have a clear and simple logic, and that's again one of the ways I help my clients is to make sure that the idea is simple and clear. But beyond that, don't take your idea too seriously. Have a sense of humor, and most of all, listen and be supportive of others' ideas. You're not trying to win. You're trying to help your group win. That's, I guess, the key distinction. You don't go in there to win it. You go in there to make the group win it, help the group win it. It's a subtle distinction, but it has a huge impact on the way that you prepare and perform in the team-based discussion. Follow the golden rule, which is treat others the way you want to be treated. Your goal is not necessarily to be the leader of the group, nor is your goal to have your idea chosen instead of anyone else's. Your idea is to simply be aware of what's going on in the group and to be helpful to the group more than anything else. Notice what the group needs and be responsive, be mindful, be aware, be in the moment, be present. And I guess that's what I'm talking about, enjoying it, right? Enjoy the process of working in a group. Remember all the groups you've been a part of that you enjoy contributing to. That's another way to do this. This team-based discussion is artificial. This topic may or may not matter to you or Wharton, really. You're not going to think about this 5 years later, but if you get into Wharton and attend Wharton, what you're going to think of and what you're going to use, hope for the rest of your life, and utilize is the circle of friends that you make. It's the people at Wharton, hopefully, that give you the real value over the course of your lifetime, rather than any one class or any one discussion. So going into this, remember, you're probably better at team stuff than you realize. They like you, they invited you to interview, your recommenders like you enough or a lot. There's no red flags so far in the written application. If Wharton had an idea that you're not good in a team, you wouldn't even be invited. Their hypothesis is you're good in teams, and now they want to test it by putting you into another team and observing you, okay? So when you go into this conversation, remember the discussions you've had in groups that went well, where you felt good about what you said to the group, and where you felt good about the way others felt, because everyone was collaborating and participating at a high level. So you don't need to be the leader. I think you need to be a situational leader. This is the leadership model. This is from Blanchard and Hershey. This is 50-year-old model, but it's very stable and it works. It's not fancy, but it's simple in the sense that you want to be adaptive to the group. So if the group needs someone to be directive, if the group is lost and wandering around, which probably not going to happen for people invited to a Wharton interview are high performers already, you probably don't need to direct the group. You might need to coach or help another member feel more comfortable with his answer, or you may need to support someone else by providing data, or be a timekeeper, which is a huge role, or be the one writing down everyone's name and summarizing everyone else's ideas when the group needs that role. You need to be responsive to the needs of the group, and that's what this model of situational leadership talks about. Explaining this model is not best done in a video. This is something to be read, and this is on my website. You can find this in my Wharton interviews page. So look into the situational leadership model so that when you go into your Wharton interview, you're aware of what the group needs, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And finally, when you come out of the Wharton interview, the TBD, you'll have a one-to-one conversation based on what I've heard from clients who got admitted in the last application cycle. The conversations aren't difficult. The questions aren't tricky. It's mostly about testing your self-awareness. What role did you play today? Is that the role you normally play? What did you do well? What could you have done better? Who do you think did really well and why? So keep a sense of humor about it. Be a bit self-critical, but not too self-critical, and be praising of others where appropriate. I really like the way she did this or he did that. I think that's a way to win. Again, it's a group win, it's a team win, it's not an individual win. That's it for now. I'm going to sign off this video. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to be the first to receive updates when I've made new videos. And most of all, enjoy the process. You've been invited to a Wharton interview. That's a huge accomplishment by itself. So don't try so hard to win. Just go in there curious about the other people in the room, curious about the process, and confident in who you are and the fact that they like you, they have you here, you know how to do this. In other words, you know how to have a cooperative and productive group discussion. You have definitely done that in a business meeting or in a team. I'm sure you have. If you had never done so, you wouldn't even be invited to Wharton because you wouldn't have the achievements in your career to make you qualified to be in the room with the TBD. So you've worked hard to get here. Enjoy it. Thanks again, and I appreciate your time.